Hello, vinyl community. It's time for another quick and dirty contest entry. Well, there's a lot of contests going on in the PC right now. It's hard to keep up. Including my own. I have my own contest running, so be sure and check that out. Anyway, hello, vinyl community, and a special hello and congratulations to James Griffiths, who is celebrating 100 subscribers. Although, James, you're I checked just now. You're at like 160 subscribers, so you better get ready for that 200 subscriber contest. Yeah, they're gonna be like back-to-back contests. Yeah, but congratulations on the 100 so far, and then the bonus 60. So you posed an interesting question. Um, Basically, albums that remind us of old friends. Great question. When I was trying to come up with an answer, I realized a lot of the friends, and I would even say most of the friends that I've had, music was not really a common bond. I've was pretty much always been passionate about music, and I now realize that my friends weren't necessarily that passionate about music, which is pretty sad. Yeah, but I delved deep into my mind and picked out one friend that we do have kind of a musical connection, or had. I'll get into that in a moment. I did want to share one sort of music related memory I have. In sixth grade, during recess, my fellow classmates and I, a handful of us, would go sit up on this hill, and at that time, hat pins were a huge deal. Um, there were these little metal hat pins that had like a band's logo, that sort of thing. Um, and we would look at each other's hat pins and try and trade them. And the only hat pin that I specifically remember, and I'm not even entirely sure why I had it, because it's not like a band I was like all that excited about. Um, but but somehow I had a Spandau Ballet hat pin. I may have had a Madness one also, because I remember a few of the people that would hang out there. We were a little bit into the ska music, um, but somehow I had a Spandau Ballet one. So I don't know. Hopefully, I traded it away, preferably for a Madness one. But nothing against Spandau Ballet, but you know. Anyway, now to my memory, or my the record that reminds me of an old friend. Um, so, in third grade, my friend Tim Collins and I um, we would either go to his house or my house after school and watch the show called Sha Na Na. And it was just kind of a fun show. I think they had little comedy routines on there, and a lot of musical numbers, because Sha Na Na are a band, or were a band. Um, and so it was just a fun show to watch. They had the over the top character of Bowser. He had his hair greased back, and he had a super super deep voice, and just a lot of fun to watch. It's some good music, and they played a lot of the '50s hits they would cover, and so it was fun to watch. And so we had this kind of connection where we both loved that show, and we enjoyed watching it together and whatnot. So when I found this record, I instantly thought of him. Sha Na Na. I'm not even sure what time period this is from. Now, this looks like it's from, 1971. So this was, a different lineup than what we were used to seeing on the show. But, you know, it's the same basic stuff. It's rockabilly, 50s revival, that kind of thing. So this definitely reminded me of him. Unfortunately, our friendship kind of came to a strange end in third grade. Um, there was this bizarre, very, very unfortunate incident where uh, my friend and his brother were in the back of their parents' car driving on the freeway, and somehow their car was mistaken for someone else's car um, by an apparent gang member, and shots were fired into the car. My friend and his brother were both hit. They both survived. I remember going to visit my friend in the hospital, and it was just very bizarre, and I didn't know how to handle it, and so that started like this uncomfortable feeling that I had towards him, basically. And then when he came back to school, I don't know, weeks later probably, because he was shot in the neck. Um, Basically, it was so bizarre. I mean, suddenly he was very popular. You know, I was no longer his friend. I mean, that wasn't him. That was kind of me, because suddenly he was popular and I was unpopular, and so I kind of backed off, and I didn't feel comfortable in that big group of people that were, kind of oohing and awing over him, and he had this newfound popularity, and so I don't know, we just grew apart, and I briefly knew him again in high school, but he was such a different person than I knew back in third grade, that there was just nothing there. And so I mean, we said hi to each other, but that was basically it. I mean, it was whatever friendship we had was basically over and done with, and we were both. Well, I don't feel like I was a different person, but he was a very, very different person. And understandably, I mean, that, trauma will do that. But you know what? I have this record, and this record will always make me think of him, and we enjoyed watching that show together. Great memories hanging out with him doing that. So, even though this is a different lineup than what we were seeing on the show, same kind of deal, doing cover songs and 50s revival, rockabilly, that sort of thing. The whole greaser look, and the white t-shirts with the sleeves rolled up, and the cigarette pack in there, and the leather jackets, and oh man, that show was so much fun, and I'll always have fond memories of watching that show with him. But people come and go out of our lives, and it happens in very different ways, and that just happened to be a very, very, as I said, bizarre and unfortunate way for a friendship to end. It just strange. But again, we have this musical connection, so that's a good thing. I was pleased to find this record. So, all right. Anyway, James, great question. Congratulations. Brace yourself for that 200. And I'm sure quickly after that is going to be 300. You might have to start doing the contest, every 200, rather than every 100. I mean, I'm presuming, it would be every 100. I'm making assumptions here. Anyway, James, very, very good channel. I enjoy it thoroughly. Great music you show on there. So, well-deserved milestone of 100, and very quickly you're going to be at 200. So, congratulations. Thank you for holding this contest. And I'm glad my entry is squeaking in right at the end here. And this is turning into a long video. Sorry about that. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.